When your life is suddenly broken by a crash, a medical mistake, or a career-ending injury, filing a lawsuit is rarely your first priority. You focus on recovery, assuming the law will wait until you're ready to seek help. But having undeniable proof of wrongdoing means nothing if the calendar is against you. The legal system doesn't care how much you've suffered. It only cares if you followed the schedule. This is the statute of limitations. It's a strict expiration date on your right to enter a courtroom. If you miss this deadline by even one day, a judge is often required by law to dismiss your case, regardless of how much evidence you hold. Courts prioritize procedural finality over moral rightness. In any legal dispute, the passage of time is an invisible antagonist, quietly stripping away your rights while you attempt to heal. There is no single universal clock for justice. Your deadline varies wildly based on what happened to you, where it took place, and the specific category of the law you're invoking. These different legal timelines are why a person can be acquitted of a crime, but still lose a civil lawsuit for the same act. The government can prosecute severe crimes like murder indefinitely, but a private citizen's claim for compensation is subject to much tighter, rigid constraints. Guessing your deadline based on common sense or television tropes is the fastest way to lose a valid lawsuit before you even file it. Even knowing your state's deadline, you must know exactly when the timer actually begins. For an event-based trigger, the clock starts at the moment of impact. If you're in a car accident, the injury is obvious and immediate, leaving no doubt about when the countdown begins. But the law also accounts for the discovery rule. In cases where harm is hidden, like a surgical error that isn't felt for years, the timer may only start when a reasonable person would have noticed the damage. Corporate defendants will fight to backdate this moment, arguing you should have known earlier. This turns the start date into a heavily litigated battleground that can sink a case before it ever reaches a jury. A common mistake is assuming that active negotiations with an insurance company or a business will naturally put your deadline on hold. The law rarely tolls or pauses the clock, usually only for minors or incapacitated victims, freezing the hourglass sand. But informal talks, settlement promises, or an adjuster reviewing the file do not stop the clock. While you wait, your time runs out. Trusting an opponent's promise to work it out is often a stalling tactic. They know that if they keep you talking until the statute expires, they no longer have to pay you anything. The rules become significantly more technical when the party you are suing is a government entity. This text discusses Section 1983, a federal law used to sue state and local officials for civil rights violations. Pursuing a city, a school district, or a police department involves procedural hurdles that don't exist in private lawsuits. The law makes a specific distinction between an individual and the office they hold. If a plaintiff names a municipal official in their official capacity instead of naming the city itself, the claim is often dismissed as redundant. This small error ends the litigation immediately. These procedural hurdles are designed to be tight. They act as a filter, removing unorganized cases from the system before a judge ever considers the actual merits of the claim. Understanding these traps is the only way to ensure you don't lay in court. Survival in the legal system requires proactive time management. Start by performing immediate legal triage. Pinpoint the exact date of the incident, identify the legal category of your claim, and verify your state's specific rules for that category. Secure your evidence immediately. Witnesses' memories fade, and physical proof can disappear. You must document everything while the clock is ticking, as your leverage disappears the closer you get to the deadline. Always check if your opponent is a government entity. If they are, you may be required to file a formal administrative notice in months, not years, or lose your right to sue entirely. Legal deadlines are invisible and unforgiving. The absolute first step in any dispute must be locking down your timeline before your right to justice expires.